The ultimatum. The massive alien warship hung in Earth's sky like a dark storm cloud. Commander Zartok stood on his bridge, looking down at the blue planet below. His gray skin shined under the purple lights of his command center. Behind him, 500 alien battleships waited in perfect formation. "Such a small world," Zartok said to his officers. "They call it Earth. Soon it will be ours." His second-in-command, Velnor, stepped forward. "Should we send the message now, Commander?" Zartok nodded. His 4 eyes narrowed as he smiled. This would be easy. Humans were weak. Their technology was nothing compared to the Krathan Empire. On Earth, people went about their normal day. Children played in parks. Adults worked in offices. Nobody knew that death waited above them. Then every screen on Earth turned black. A harsh alien face appeared. Zartok's voice boomed across every city, every home, every phone. "Humans of Earth, I am Commander Zartok of the Krathan Empire. Your planet is now ours. You have 24 hours to surrender. If you resist, we will destroy you all." To show his power, Zartok pointed at the moon. A bright red beam shot from his ship. The abandoned moon base that humans had built exploded into dust. The explosion was visible from Earth, even in daylight. 24 hours, Zartok repeated. Then the screens went black again. Panic spread like fire. In New York, people ran through the streets. In London, families hugged each other. In Tokyo, everyone stared at the sky in fear. The alien ships were visible now, black dots against the blue sky. Deep under a mountain in Colorado, Earth's leaders gathered in a secret bunker. Presidents, generals, and scientists sat around a large metal table. Their faces were pale. Their hands shook. "We cannot fight them," said the President of United Earth. "Look at their ships. Look at what they did to the M1 base." "Our military has 300 ships," said Admiral Jones. "They have 500, and their technology is superior." "So we surrender?" asked the Chinese representative. "We just give up?" Everyone started arguing. Voices got louder. Fear filled the room. But in the corner, General Morrison sat quietly. The old soldier held a black folder in his hands. He had not opened it yet. His gray hair and wrinkled face made him look tired, but his eyes were sharp. "General Morrison," the President said, "you have not spoken. What do you think?" Morrison looked up slowly. "Let them come closer." "What?" Admiral Jones stood up. "Are you crazy? We need to respond." "No," Morrison said calmly. "We wait." Young Captain Brooks, standing guard by the door, shifted nervously. He knew something others did not. He had seen things in the deep space facilities, secret things. "Sir," Brooks said quietly, "should we activate Protocol Shadow?" Everyone turned to look at him. "Protocol Shadow?" the President asked. "What is that?" Morrison raised his hand. "Not yet, Captain. Let them think we are weak." Above Earth, Zartok laughed. The humans had sent a message. They wanted to talk. They wanted more time. "Weak creatures," he told Velnor. "They always beg. Every planet we conquered begged for time." Zartok played videos for his crew. They watched as the Krathan Empire destroyed the Zalani homeworld. They saw the burning cities of Proxima. They remembered how the warriors of Vega fell in just 3 days. "Earth will be easier," Zartok said. "Look at their ships. Old, slow, weak." But something strange happened. Deep space sensors picked up an odd signal. It came from the dark space between Mars and Jupiter, just for a second. Then it was gone. "What was that?" Velnor asked the sensor operator. "Nothing, sir. Maybe space debris or a malfunction." Velnor forgot about it. But he should not have. Back in the bunker, Morrison finally stood up. He walked to the main screen. Earth's defense ships appeared on the display. 300 old vessels. Some were 50 years old. They looked like toys compared to the alien fleet. "These are all we have?" the President asked. Morrison smiled. It was a strange smile. These are all they can see. What do you mean? Morrison opened the black folder. Inside was a single page. 3 words were written in red. Shadow Fleet ready, the president gasped. What is the Shadow Fleet? Morrison's smile grew wider. Our real defense. Hidden in the darkness, waiting. Captain Brooks moved to the communication panel. His fingers floated over the buttons. Sir, should I send the signal? No, Morrison said. Let them come closer. Let them think they have won. Outside, night began to fall. The alien ships glowed like evil stars. People prayed in churches, temples, and mosques. Children cried in their mothers' arms. But deep in space, where no light reached, something waited. Something the aliens could not see. Something hungry for battle. The countdown had begun. The hidden truth. 20 years ago, something happened that changed everything. Dr. Elena Vasquez remembered that day perfectly. She was digging in the red sand of Mars when her detector screamed. 30 feet below the surface, her team found it. A crashed alien ship, not Crathen, something older, something more advanced. Inside that ship, they found blueprints, plans for weapons, designs for ships that could hide in the darkness of space, technology that bent light itself. Earth's leaders made a choice that day. Tell no one, build in secret. Now in the present, General Morrison stood before the world leaders in the bunker. He pressed a button. The wall screen changed. It showed empty space, or what looked like empty space. Computer, remove shadow protocol, Morrison commanded. The empty space shimmered. Suddenly, 1,000 warships appeared. They were black as night, shaped like daggers, and completely invisible to any sensor. The president fell back in his chair. My God, how many? 1,000 shadow ships, Morrison said. Built in factories under the ocean, tested in caves on the moon's dark side, crews trained in secret bases nobody knows exist. Who commands them? Admiral Jones asked, his voice shaking. Captain Sarah Chen. Morrison brought up her image, a young woman with cold eyes and scars on her face. She lost her family when the Crathens destroyed the colony on Europa 10 years ago. She lives for this moment. Above Earth, Commander Zartok grew impatient. His ships moved closer. He wanted the humans to see their death approaching. Commander, Velnor said, the humans sent another message. They are begging for mercy. Play it, Zartok ordered. A weak voice came through the speakers. It sounded scared. Please, we need more time. Our leaders are voting. Some want to surrender. Please, Great Commander, show mercy. Zartok laughed. His crew laughed with him. Move all ships into attack position. When they surrender, I want them to see our power up close. The alien fleet moved forward, exactly where Earth wanted them. In the darkness between Mars and Jupiter, Sarah Chen sat in the captain's chair of the Ghost Hammer, the lead shadow ship. Her crew of 50 waited in perfect silence. They had trained for this moment for years. Captain, her weapons officer, Lieutenant Park, whispered, they are in the kill box. Sarah's fingers drummed on her chair. Not yet. Let them get closer. She remembered her daughter's face. Little Amy was only 6 when the Crathens killed her. Sarah touched the photo in her pocket. Soon, baby. Daddy's friends will pay. Her navigator, James, turned to her. Captain, I'm picking up some The Crathen commander is broadcasting to his empire. Put it on speaker. Zartok's voice filled the shadow ship. Great Emperor, Earth will be ours within the hour. These humans are even weaker than we thought. They have no real weapons. Their ships are ancient. I have never seen such easy prey. Sarah's eyes burned with rage. Record everything. The galaxy needs to see their arrogance. Back on Earth, strange things started happening. In secret facilities, crews ran to hidden ships. These were not the old ships the aliens could see. These were decoys, holograms, fake ships with fake signatures. The real Earth fleet was already in space, hidden, waiting. Captain Brooks received a coded message in the bunker. He read it and looked at Morrison. "Sir, the Shanghai facility reports ready. The Atlantic base is ready. The Antarctic squadron is ready." Morrison nodded. "How many humans know about the Shadow Fleet?" "Less than 10,000, sir. Each thinks they are the only secret base." The president stood up. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because fear must be real," Morrison said. "The aliens have spies. They read our communications. They needed to believe we were weak. Your fear, Mr. President, sold our weakness." Above Earth, Zartok studied the human defense fleet. His scanners showed 300 old ships powering up. Their weapons were decades old. Their shields were weak. "This is almost sad," he told Velnor. "Should we demand their surrender again?" "Commander!" the sensor operator suddenly screamed. "I'm detecting an energy signature. It's impossible." "What is it?" "Something is powering up. Multiple contacts, but I can't see them." In the Shadow Fleet, Sarah Chen stood up. Every captain in every shadow ship stood up at the same moment. They all spoke the same words. For Earth, for the fallen, for humanity. Sarah looked at her crew. Young faces, old faces, all ready to die, all ready to kill. "Mr. Park, charge the Nova cannon." "Cannons charged, Captain." "Mr. James, prepare for shadow drop." "Ready, Captain." In the bunker, Morrison looked at the clock. 23 hours and 45 minutes had passed since the alien ultimatum. He turned to Brooks. "Send the final message to the aliens." Brooks typed quickly. The message was simple. "We have decided." Zartok received it. He smiled. "Finally. Prepare to accept their surrender." But then his smile faded. The human leader appeared on his screen, not begging, not crying. General Morrison stood straight and spoke clearly. "Commander Zartok, you asked for our surrender. Here is our answer." Morrison held up a small device. A simple button, red, blinking. "Shadow Fleet," Morrison said. "Emerge." He pressed the button. In space, reality seemed to break. The darkness itself came alive. 1,000 ships materialized from nothing. They surrounded the Krathan fleet in perfect formation. Zartok's 4 eyes went wide. His mouth opened but no sound came out. On the ghost hammer, Sarah Chen smiled. It was not a kind smile. "All ships," she broadcast, "welcome our guests to Earth. Show them human hospitality." The Shadow Fleet's weapons began to glow. A new color, something the Krathans had never seen. The color of human revenge. "Fire," Sarah whispered. Space lit up with death. The shadow rises, space exploded into purple fire. The Nova cannons didn't shoot regular plasma. They fired concentrated dark matter stolen from the ancient ship on Mars. The beams cut through Krathan shields like paper. Commander Zartok watched his pride ship, the destroyer's Fist, split in half. 300 of his soldiers floated into space, freezing instantly. "Impossible!" he roared. "Humans don't have this technology." "Commander!" Velnor screamed. "We've lost 50 ships already." 50 ships. In 30 seconds. Sarah Chen stood calm on the Ghost Hammer's bridge. Phase 2. Activate Ghost Mode. Every shadow ship vanished again. But they were still there, still firing. The Krathan sensors showed empty space while their ships exploded. "Where are they?" Zartok spun around, his 4 eyes searching every screen. "Where are they?" Young pilot Jake Reaper Williams flew his shadow fighter through the chaos. These were smaller ships, one-man fighters that could phase in and out of reality. He appeared behind a Krathan battleship, fired his quantum torpedoes, and vanished before they could react. "That's for New Tokyo," he whispered, watching the alien ship burn. In the Krathan fleet, panic spread like poison. Soldiers abandoned their posts. Some ships fired at empty space, hitting their own fleet. Others tried to run but found themselves trapped. "Sir!" A Krathan officer pointed at his screen. "The humans. They're teleporting inside our ships." It was true. Shadow commandos wearing special suits teleported directly into Krathan vessels. They appeared in engine rooms planting bombs. They materialized on bridges, killing commanders, then vanished before anyone could fight back. Sergeant Maria Rodriguez materialized inside Zartok's sister ship. She saw 20 Krathon soldiers. They saw her. For 1 second, nobody moved. Then Maria smiled and pressed a button on her belt. Time slowed down for everyone except her. The Krathons moved like statues. Maria walked between them, placing microbombs on their weapons, their consoles, their life support systems. Time returned to normal. The Krathons blinked. Everything exploded at once. Maria teleported out, leaving chaos behind. On Earth, people watched the sky in amazement. The weak Earth fleet hadn't moved. They were still floating there, doing nothing. But the alien ships were exploding, burning, falling. A child in Beijing pointed up. "Mama, the bad stars are dying." Her mother hugged her tight, tears streaming. "Yes, baby, the shadows are protecting us." Back in space, Zartok's flagship shook violently. Half his bridge crew was dead. Purple blood covered the floors. "Commander," Fellner gasped, missing an arm. "We must retreat. We must warn the Empire." "Retreat?" Zartok grabbed him by the throat. "The Krathon Empire never retreats." But then something worse happened. Sarachen's face appeared on every Krathon screen simultaneously. Her scarred face, her dead eyes. She spoke in perfect Krathon language. "Hello, Commander. I learned your language. I studied your culture. I know your fears." "How?" Zartok whispered. 10 years ago, you destroyed Europa Colony. My daughter was there, 6 years old. She sent me a message before she died. Want to hear it?" Sarah played the audio, a little girl's voice crying, "Mommy, the monsters are here. I'm scared. I love you." The message cut off. Sarah's face returned. No emotion. "I've waited 10 years for this moment, but I won't kill you yet. First, you need to suffer." The ghost hammer materialized directly in front of Zartok's ship. Impossible. No ship that large could teleport. "Captain Chen," Lieutenant Park said, "the Nightmare Protocol is ready. Execute." Every Krathon ship's computer system suddenly screamed. Their AIs begged, and showing them visions, their worst fears, their dead families, their home planets burning. The walls seemed to bleed. Space itself looked like it was full of eyes, watching, judging. Krathon soldiers clawed at their faces. Some jumped out airlocks to escape the visions. Others turned their weapons on each other. "Make it stop!" a Krathon officer begged. "Make it stop!" Zartok fell to his knees. He saw his mother, disappointed, his father, ashamed, his empire laughing at his failure. "It's not real," he told himself. "It's not real." But it felt real. On the ghost hammer, Sarah watched without sympathy. "Mr. Park, status report. 400 enemy ships destroyed, 70 surrendering, 30 trying to run. Don't let them run." Shadow ships appeared in front of the fleeing vessels, behind them, above and below. There was nowhere to go. Captain Marcus Webb of the shadow ship Vengeance broadcast to the runners, "You came to our home. You threatened our children. Now you want to run? No. You stay. You watch. You learn." In the bunker on Earth, world leaders watched in stunned silence. The mighty Krathon fleet, terror of the galaxy, was being destroyed by ships that shouldn't exist, using weapons that defied physics. "How?" the president asked Morrison. "How did we build this?" Morrison pulled up classified files. "The ship we found on Mars? It wasn't just a ship. It was a teaching device. It showed us how to bend space, how to hide in dimensions the Krathons can't see, how to turn fear into a weapon." "Who built it?" "We don't know, but they wanted us to find it. They wanted us ready." Suddenly, alarms blared in the bunker. "What now?" Admiral Jones asked. Brooks checked his console. His face went white. "Sir, Zartok is activating something. Energy readings are off the scale. In space, Zartok stood up, purple blood dripping from his eyes. The visions had stopped, but his mind was broken. He reached for a black panel on his command chair. His officers tried to stop him. "Commander, no! That's the planet killer! It will destroy us too!" Zartok laughed. It was the laugh of madness. "If the Krathan Empire cannot have Earth, no one can." He slammed his fist on the panel. Deep in his flagship, an ancient weapon awakened. The planet killer. A bomb that could crack a world in half. It began charging, sucking energy from nearby stars. Sarah Chen's face didn't change. "All shadow ships, Protocol Omega." "Captain," James said urgently, "if that weapon detonates—" "I know." Sarah stood up. "How long until it charges?" 5 minutes, Captain." Sarah nodded. "Then we have 5 minutes to save Earth." She opened a channel to General Morrison. "Sir, we have a problem." Morrison's face appeared. "We see it, Captain. Options?" Sarah looked at her crew, her family. They all nodded. They knew what had to be done. "We ram it, sir. The Ghost Hammer's dark matter core should contain the explosion." "That's suicide, Captain." Sarah touched her daughter's photo one more time. "I know." But then something unexpected happened. Every shadow ship captain called in simultaneously. "Negative, Ghost Hammer. We go together." "All 1,000 ships?" Sarah asked. "All 1,000 ships," they replied. Jake Reaper Williams added from his fighter, "For Earth, together." The Shadow Fleet began moving toward the planet killer. 1,000 ships, 50,000 crew members, all ready to die. Zartok saw them coming. He laughed harder. "Yes, come, die with us." 4 minutes left, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Then General Morrison spoke. "Captain Chen, stop." "Sir?" Morrison smiled. "Did you really think the Shadow Fleet was our only secret?" He pressed another button. Around Earth, the space itself began to shimmer. A shield, not made of energy, made of folded space-time itself. The same technology that hid the Shadow Fleet, but reversed. A barrier that nothing could penetrate. "The Earth shield," Morrison said. "Let him detonate his weapon. Earth will survive." Sarah stopped her ship. The entire Shadow Fleet stopped. Zartok saw the shield appear. His 4 eyes widened in final despair. "No! No! No!" 1 minute left. Sarah broadcast to the Krathan fleet. "You have 1 minute. Surrender or die with your commander." The remaining Krathan ships powered down their weapons. White flags appeared on their transmissions, all except Zartok's flagship. 30 seconds. "Commander!" Velnor begged. "Please, stop it!" But Zartok was beyond reason. He laughed and laughed as the planet killer reached full charge. 10 seconds. Sarah Chen spoke to her fleet. "All ships, minimum safe distance, now." The Shadow Fleet vanished into their hidden dimension. 5 seconds. Zartok stopped laughing. For one moment, clarity returned. He saw what he had become, what he had done, what he was about to do. "I'm sorry, Mother," he whispered. 3, 2, 1. The planet killer detonated. Humanity's victory. The explosion should have destroyed Earth. A white sphere of death expanded from Zartok's flagship, consuming everything. The remaining Krathan ships evaporated instantly. Space itself seemed to scream. The blast was visible from Jupiter, from Saturn, from the edge of the solar system. But Earth's shield held. The explosion hit the invisible barrier and stopped. Like water hitting glass, the planet-killing energy spread across the shield's surface, creating an aurora of colors humans had never seen. Purple fire, golden lightning, silver tears in reality itself. On Earth, 8 billion people watched the sky turn into a painting of destruction and salvation. A young boy in Mumbai whispered, "We're alive." His grandfather nodded, tears in his eyes. The shadows saved us. But the victory wasn't complete. "General Morrison!" Captain Brooks shouted in the bunker. "The shield is holding, but it's draining power. We have maybe 10 minutes before it fails." "What?" The president stood up. "The explosion is still going?" Morrison checked the readings. The planet killer wasn't just a bomb. It was a key. Continuous reaction, feeding on dark matter, growing stronger. "It's eating space itself," Morrison said quietly. "If the shield fails—" In her hidden dimension, Sarah Chen watched the data. Her scientists were screaming numbers at her. "Captain, the explosion is creating a black hole. It will consume the entire solar system." Sarah stood silent for a moment. Then she smiled. Not her cold smile, a real smile. "No, it won't." She opened a channel to all shadow ships. "All crews, this is Captain Chen. Remember the Mars ship? Remember what else we found?" Lieutenant Park's eyes widened. "Captain, you can't mean—" "The reset button," Sarah said. 20 years ago, in that ancient ship on Mars, they had found something else. A device. The scientists called it the timeline manipulator. It could reverse time in a localized area, but using it would destroy the user. They had built one, just one, and installed it in the ghost hammer. "Captain," James said, "if you activate it, you'll be erased from existence. Not just dead. You'll never have existed." Sarah looked at her daughter's photo. "Then Amy won't remember losing me. She'll just not have a mom. That's better than having a dead one." "No," Jake Reaper Williams broke in. "Captain, there has to be another way." But then something impossible happened. Space rippled, not from the explosion, from something else, something coming. Massive ships began appearing, not Crathan, not human, ships made of pure light, hundreds of them. General Morrison gasped. The Builders. They were the ones who had left the ship on Mars, the ancient race that had been watching, waiting, testing humanity. A voice spoke directly into every human mind, not through speakers, through consciousness itself. "Humans, you have passed the test." The lead builder ship moved toward the expanding explosion. It was the size of Earth's moon, made entirely of crystallized energy. Zartok's empire failed the test. They chose destruction. You chose protection. Even now your Captain Chen prepares to sacrifice herself. This is why you are worthy. The builder ship opened. Inside was a star. Not a normal star. A white star that bent reality around it. Observe true power. The white star moved toward the planet-killer explosion. When they touched, something beautiful happened. The explosion reversed, not in time, but in space. It began collapsing, shrinking, pulled into the white star. Within seconds, the planet-killing explosion was gone, absorbed, contained. Earth was safe. But the builders weren't done. Every surrendered Crathan ship suddenly lost power. Their crews were teleported to a single massive prison ship that appeared from nowhere. The Crathan Empire is ended. Their worlds will be freed, their slaves released, and you, humans, will help us. Sarah Chen finally spoke. Who are you? We are the first, the ones who seeded life in this galaxy. We test each species. Most fail. They choose conquest over compassion. You chose differently. Images appeared in every human mind. The builders' history, how they had watched civilizations rise and fall, how they had left tests, like the ship on Mars, to see who was worthy. The Shadow Fleet technology was our gift, but you improved it, you made it better. This surprised us, pleased us. The president, still in the bunker, asked, "What do you want from us?" "Nothing. We want to give. Earth will join the Galactic Protectors. You will help defend peaceful worlds. The Shadow Fleet will grow." Then the lead builder ship turned to Sarah Chen's ghost hammer. "Captain Sarah Chen, your pain brought you here, but your love saved your world. We have a gift." A beam of light shot from the builder ship. It hit empty space next to the ghost hammer. The space shimmered. A small ship appeared. An escape pod from Europa colony, 10 years old. Sarah's heart stopped. That's impossible. Europa was destroyed. Time is flexible for us. We saved one pod before the destruction. A gift from the first to the newest protectors. The pod opened. A 16-year-old girl floated out, alive, in a stasis suit. Amy Chen, Sarah's daughter. Sarah couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. She transported directly to the pod, pulling her daughter into her arms. Amy's eyes opened. "Mom, I had the strangest dream. There were monsters, but then light saved me." Sarah cried for the first time in 10 years. Across Earth, celebrations erupted. The Shadow Fleet revealed itself fully, ships appearing above every major city, not as threats, but as protectors. The Krathan prisoners were put on trial. Velnor, who had survived, testified against his own empire. He revealed locations of slave worlds, secret weapons, hidden fleets. "We were wrong," he said in front of the Galactic Council that the builders assembled. "We thought strength meant conquest. Humans showed us strength means protection." Within a month, the Krathan Empire fell. 300 enslaved worlds were freed. They all asked the same question: who saved us? The answer spread across the galaxy: the humans, the ones with the Shadow Fleet. Jake Reaper Williams became an admiral, leading the new Shadow Fighter Academy, teaching young pilots from Earth and allied worlds how to fly between dimensions. General Morrison retired, but not before revealing one last secret. There were more ancient ships hidden on other worlds, more gifts from the builders. Humanity's journey had just begun. The President addressed Earth and the galaxy. "We were tested, we could have surrendered, we could have begged. Instead, we fought, not for conquest, but for survival, not for empire, but for freedom. The Shadow Fleet will grow, and we make this promise to the Galaxy. If you come in peace, we welcome you. If you bring war, you will meet the shadows." But the best moment came last. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of the Ghost Hammer, her daughter beside her. Earth floated below them, blue and beautiful, safe. "Mom," Amy asked, "why did you name the ship Ghost Hammer?" Sarah smiled. "Because ghosts haunt those who do evil, and the hammer brings justice." Amy nodded. Then she pointed at the stars. "What's out there? Friends, enemies, adventures?" Sarah put her arm around her daughter. "Want to find out?" Amy grinned. "Together?" "Together." In the darkness of space, the Shadow Fleet watched. 1,000 ships became 2,000, then 3,000. Humans and aliens working together, protecting the weak, haunting the evil. The builders sent one final message before disappearing back into deep space. "You called them shadows, but shadows exist because of light. You are that light. Burn bright, humanity. The galaxy needs you." Earth's moon, scarred from Zartok's demonstration, was rebuilt, but they left one crater untouched. A reminder. Inside the crater, they built a monument. It read, "Here, the Krathan Empire demanded our surrender. Here, the Shadow Fleet emerged. Here, humanity said, 'No. We are the light that casts the shadows. We are the protectors. We are human." Years later, when alien children asked their parents about Earth, they were told, "That's where the Shadow Fleet lives. They hide in darkness but fight for light. They were tested with destruction and chose protection. Never attack Earth, child, for if you do, the shadows will come." And in the darkness between stars, Sarah Chen's voice echoed on a recording played at every Shadow Fleet graduation. They demanded Earth's surrender. They got humanity's strength. We don't conquer, we protect. We don't destroy, we defend. We are the Shadow Fleet, and we are always watching. The galaxy had learned a simple truth. Humanity was no longer the weak child among the stars. They were the guardians of the shadows, and the shadows were everywhere.